Hi friends, I'm Samantha with Creating in the Mitten, and today we're going to go over a few new steps to make my beginner fingerless gloves. I know I have a lot of newer crocheters, and with this tutorial today you'll be learning a few new stitches in no time. Today we're working with chains, double crochets, half double crochets, and then for our newer stitches, a front post double crochet, a back post double crochet, and a crab stitch. This is more of a stitch tutorial than a pattern tutorial, but you can follow along with the pattern link in the description and just pause when you need to. If you have any questions regarding this pattern or any of the stitches used, make sure to leave a comment below or on the pattern link and I'll help you as soon as I can. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to need is a medium weight yarn. So this is Lion Brand's Touch of Alpaca in Blush. I absolutely love this yarn. It's nice and soft and squishy. You also need a 6mm crochet hook, a tapestry needle for the end, and then scissors as well. And these are our gloves. This is the front post and back post double crochets down here, and then the crab stitch along the top. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a slip knot, and then we are going to chain 25. You can also use a foundation double crochet to start this, but I really like having that chain a little bit tighter, and that way we can keep it closer to our wrists. All right, so we've got our chain. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to slip stitch to that first chain that we made, making sure we don't twist our chain. And then we'll chain 2. And then in the first spot where you put your chain 2, where you slip stitched it together, you're going to double crochet. And we're just going to double crochet all the way around until we get back to the beginning. And I forgot to mention before, this is a bonus bundle of the Touch of Alpaca. You only need a small bundle. You don't need a full bonus bundle. This is just what I had on hand. All right, so now we've worked our last double crochet, and we are going to slip stitch to the top of our first double crochet, and we're going to chain 2. Now this is where our new stitches are going to start. We're going to start working a front post double crochet and then a back post double crochet around, and we're going to repeat those as we go. So to work our front post double crochet, we're going to yarn over, we're going to go in and around that first stitch. So we're not working into the loops on the top, we're working around the post itself. And then we just double crochet as normal. And then our back post double crochet, we're going to come in from the back, around the front and through the back, and work a double crochet there. So front post goes around from the front we're working, and then back post, we're going to work around the back of the stitch. And we're just going to keep doing that all the way around. Around the back post, around the front post. And we're going to keep doing this for this row, row 3, and row 4. So I will meet you guys back here when we get all of those done. Alright, so now we're back. We've got all of our rows done. And all we have to do now is we will take this front post double crochet and we're going to slip stitch it to the top, and that way we'll join our rows. I did do it to where we started on a front post and ended on a front post, and that way it kind of tucks this chain 2 in the back and kind of keeps them together, because we are skipping those chain 2s as you see in the pattern. They don't count as stitches, so we're going to slip stitch to the top, and we're only going to chain 1 here, and then we're going to half double crochet around. This will start the hand portion of our fingerless gloves, and we're going to do this until we get to row 12, and row 12 is where we add in our thumbs, the holes that we do there. And each one's going to be different for the left hand and the right hand, just because we want the seam from our gloves to be on the palm of our hands. So as you can see, I've got a seam running right here, and this is for my right glove, and then on my left glove I have my seam running here. So when we put the gloves on our hands, the seams are on the bottom and not on the top. So we're just going to half double crochet all the way around and then work these in joined rounds as well. And you can also make the cuff longer by just repeating that, the row 3 and 4, until you get it to the desired length. I like them a little bit shorter on fingerless gloves in case I was wearing my coat, and that way my gloves don't get all bunched up and slide off my hand or anything like that. It makes it a little bit easier to just lay that cuff over the cuff of my own jacket. And at this point, we are working in the top stitches of the V's. We're not working around the posts anymore. So like I said, it's just a regular half double crochet. Work 25 of those. And then we slip stitch it to the top. And chain 1. And now we have our first row of the hand part of our glove done. So we're going to keep doing this until we get to row 12, and then we're going to end with our thumb holes there. And I will see you guys back here when we get that done. Alright, so we're just at the end of row 11. One more stitch to work. And this is where we are going to start doing for our thumb hole. So with this, you're going to half double crochet in the first 3 stitches, and this just gives our chain a little bit of strength on that side. And then you'll chain 4, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to skip 4 stitches, and we're going to work our next half double crochet in that 5th stitch, and that way we won't mess up our count. And then if you do need to make the thumb hole a little bit bigger, you can always chain 5 and skip 5. That'll work too. If you do it too big, you might not have a good structure on your gloves, but you can probably go up to 6. And then we just half double crochet around the rest of this round and all of the other stitches. And if you need to, you can always try on your glove once you get that thumb hole put in there to make sure that there's enough space. It does stretch. This yarn specifically stretches pretty good. It doesn't stretch out, but it stretches enough to where you can get your thumb in there and they're still quite secure on your hand. But like I said, if you need to add another stitch or two, go for it. Just make sure you're skipping the appropriate number of stitches. Alright, and so we will slip stitch these together, chain one, and then we're going to half double crochet around again, and we're also going to half double crochet in these chain stitches too. And see, that puts a nice bit of structure on the top of that for you. So we'll finish round 13. We'll do the same thing for 14 and 15. And then we will be back here to do the crab stitch. And that's just to finish off the top of our glove, and then we're all done. I'll see you back here in just a few minutes. Alright, so we finished row 15, and then we slip stitched our rows around together, chained one, and now we're going to work on our crab stitch. So the crab stitch is essentially a single crochet but done backwards. So instead of working from right to left, we're going to work from left to right. So all we're going to do with this is we're going to go into the stitch behind. So this one right here, we go into this stitch, and then we pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through. We go into this stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through. And we just keep doing that all the way around. And this is my absolute favorite way to put an edge on gloves or a cowl or a baby blanket. It just finishes it up nice and pretty. So we just keep doing this all the way around. It's a little bit tricky at first just because you're not used to working in this direction. So if it takes you a couple tries to get there, it's totally okay. You can always just pull it back out and go back to your chain one if that's where you're comfortable. And so into this. And we're almost done. And one more. And then to finish this, I like to go in to that first stitch, the first crab stitch that I did. So the chain one is right here, and I'm going to go into this first stitch, and then I just slip stitch through and then finish it off. And then you'll weave in your ends and you have created your first glove. So you'll just want to repeat the pattern. You'll see in the notes in the pattern where it tells you how to do your right glove so your seam is on the bottom of your right hand instead of on the top. Because if we made the same exact glove for our right hand, our seam would be on the top. It's not quite as pretty. So there you go. You've done your first set of front post and back post double crochets and a crab stitch border. So thank you for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. Like I said, all the links are in the description below. And if you do have any questions, just make sure you send me a message or comment below. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on that bell notification so you know when my next tutorial is out. Thanks, guys.